some of those points to Ruth Wasserman Lande, who is a former Israeli member of parliament and specialist in Arab affairs. Do you recognise that the actions now that the Israeli government is taking is losing them allies? Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning to all the listeners. And indeed, the situation in Gaza as well as in Israel is very dire. It is very tragic and very dire, and it can be stopped. And I pray to God every morning, because I also have children, that it will stop. And the way in which it can be stopped is international pressure. Now, the UK can pressure two sides. One is the Hamas, and the other is Israel. And it's much easier to pressure Israel because Israel actually listens. It has some kind of a mechanism that responds and so on. What we're terrible in is explaining what on earth we're doing. And I absolutely recognize that, and it's very unfortunate. But it's also unfortunate that from those hospitals and from those civilian nuclei, the terrorists are actually launching, still, by the way, rockets onto civilian population in the south of Israel. It's insane. Nobody reports on that at all. I mean, children that pee in their beds at the age of 12 on the Israeli side are never interviewed, ever. And that's not to say the children on the Gaza side should not have medical supplies and conditions. Of course they should, as should our children.
Do you not accept that the actions by not allowing aid in, by, if we are right, looking at a figure that the United Nations are putting out of the number of babies that will die, you are rapidly losing any allies and you're losing global support?
So first of all, we've begun to lose support from the 8th of October in a very, very strange and unprecedented
way. That's not fair
way.
for the United Kingdom, I have to say. Sir Keir Starmer, before him, they spoke warmly of Israel being allowed to defend itself. But you've gone, not you personally, Israel has gone way beyond defending itself now.
Well, that's the narrative that you are hearing and you are resounding. But I can say honestly, from this point of view, and by the way, I'm no representative of this coalition, nor am I a representative of this government in any way. On the contrary, I'm from the opposition.
Okay.
But having said that, and having been in the parliament in the opposition to this coalition, I must say, as a mother, as a person, there is a murderous, massacring organization that took hold of Gaza in 2006.
But how?
And it is using, just 1 second, sir, please.
Starving children going to support your case?
No, so the issue is much more complex than the very black and white narrative.
The issue is dying babies.
No, but it's...
Well,
but the
United Nations respectfully would say it is, and I think they're probably a greater force than you or I.
Well, first of all, with all respect to the United Nations, there's an automatic majority to the anti-Israel cause in the Arab countries, a very automatic one. In fact, the United Nations has said all sorts of very strange things. What about the 58 people that are held absolutely in contradiction to the international law?
But what about, if we talk international law, respectfully, if we talk international law, starving babies is against international law.
But starving babies is two words. Babies and starving is a horrific word.
Words as well. I don't think we want to get in that game, do we?
The UK, just a second, the UK has brought out a very respectable report saying that the numbers that have been said and determined by the so-called Palestinian health ministry, which is a very cynical way to say Hamas, are absolutely wrong. And the saying starving babies needs to be understood. Now the Israeli government, and again, I stress I do not support this particular coalition, has been bringing in, again, humanitarian aid. But you need to understand...
But it's limited. It's reported 3 trucks got in one day earlier this week. That's not acceptable.
But absolutely, and more should come in and will come in. But just so that people understand, they come in, these trucks, and what happens is that the Hamas, I wouldn't even call it operatives, they send the bullies, literally bullies. They come and they break the legs and shoot the legs and feet, not of Jews, not of Israelis, of their own people, so that they are not
and you have documentary evidence of that.
Yes, but Not we have documents. They document it. You know why? So that others will be afraid to do the same. It's all over the internet, everywhere. And it's in Arabic, and there are tons of people that can understand that. And this is the sad tragedy, because Israel is in the midst of fighting something which is, it's not human. It's not.
But surely allowing these children to starve
getting the food
is not human.
Right. So the Israeli army, in an unprecedented mechanism, is now looking at every possibility to actually distribute the aid to its own enemy people. Can you imagine?
All right. Okay. I'm way late to the news. I must leave it there. I'm grateful for your input.